So good morning, all the participants and Dharmik madam. Let us start with the presentation. Madam has already introduced me, so we can directly move to the topic. So today's topic is the introduction of robotics. So in the today's talk, I have taken the definitions of robotics, the different strategies to different theory related to the robotics, then what are the different type of robots, and at the end I have taken one kind of robot that is called as a e-yantra, which is e-yantra. The name is given by IIT Mumbai, and they are taking the many institutions in loop, where they are asking us to set up a lab of e-yantra, and they train our faculties and students, and also they encourage faculties and students to participate in the various competitions held by them. It is only to spread the awareness of robotics and looking into the demand of robotics and the skill development which is required for the students. So it is a very good initiative, and we became the part of that lab in 2018 itself. They also teach us how to create the e-farm, how to do the programming of e-yantra. So we have set up a lab at our institute, and we have handed over this lab to our students. They are running the lab. So let us start with what is robotics. Robotics doesn't say that it is a branch of mechanical. The robot can be a mechanical, or it can be a virtual robot as well. Where you have seen one teacher is a robot, means a module is a robot. It is teaching you, module is teaching you. So it doesn't say that it is only a mechanical device. It can be a virtual device as well, where its major component is that it should have an artificial agent. Artificial agent, the artificial agents uh, will be in the form of the programming itself. So you can say the programming is the heart of the robot. It should implement the artificial intelligence concept. So if I ask you, what do you prefer? Would you like to have a human being as an employer or robot as an employer? Yes, participants?
Definitely human.
Human being?
Because there are some limitation with the help of the robotics, and
Yes,
woman can understand the emotions also.
yes.
Let's there will be some modification in artificial intelligence that machine can understand the emotion, but that's the time not yet again come again.
Yes, yes. But it all depends on the employer. Some employers would like to go for the robots because the robots do not go home. They do not say that my time is over, now I have to go to home. The robot never fell sick. They do not have the complaints. They do not have excuses. They can work for you for 24 hours, and they will not cheat you. They will not take any leave. They will not fatigue, and they can work for you. They can be very loyal to you. So it is not always the case that or many advantages are there when employer wanted to hire the robot in place of human beings. So there are many advantages. That's why this robotics robot branch has become very popular, and many tasks has been replaced by the robots to the extent. It is not total replacement, to the extent. So what are the properties of a robot? The property is, the first is that the robot is not natural. It is an artificial agent, and it can sense the environment. How can it sense the environment? It can sense the environment with help of sensors and with help of GPS, radar, and different type of waves. It is sensing the various inputs from the environment. By using the programming, they can manipulate the things. They can manipulate the environment. The movement of a robot in an environment is manipulating the environment, and they also have the degree of intelligence. It is not as to the level of human being, but to some extent you can have the level of intelligence in the robot itself. The robots are programmable. The robots can move. So in a wider way, you can define that the robot is a machine that is used to perform the task automatically, which can be done by the computer. So now we will see the basic definitions of the robotics. The robotics is the combination of engineering, science and technology. And it can be a branch of mechanical plus electronics plus computer. But if it is a virtual robot, then there is no role of mechanical engineer. If there is no circuitry, then there is no role of electronics engineer, but definitely a role of computer engineer is present in the field of robotics. You can say that the robot is an alternative of the human beings, and they can deal with the design of construction and operation of means the robot. If you want to create a robot में हमको क्या क्या करना पड़ेगा? The first thing is that you have to design a robot, or then you have to fill the intelligence into the robot, that is how your robot is going to perform an operation. So you have to first design and then you have to operate it. So robot is going to perform a task and it will gather the information from the surroundings. How can you gather the information from the surroundings? Say for example, taking a picture or a video from the camera is taking the information from the surroundings. So there are different type of devices, sensors are present. You can take up the information from the surroundings. The main part of robotics is that microprocessor. Microprocessors can be a single microprocessor or it can be a multiple microprocessor. If it is a single microprocessor means it is a central processing unit. You have only central control and it is going to control all the units. Say for example, arms, legs, all will be controlled by one CPU, that is a central processing unit. But it was old days. Now we are using the multiple processors for multiple parts. Say for example, for an arm you have taken one processor, for a leg you have taken the another processor, like this. So multiple processors are nowadays used to control the movement of robots. So before moving to the robots, we should understand there are certain laws. So laws are present for the human being, the laws are present for the robots also. The first law of robot is that it should not injure a human being. It should not injure a human being. You must have seen a movie, it was like a Malayali movie that was dubbed in this English. This movie was related to a person. A person was there in a village and he had no one to take care of him. His son was also doing job in out of India, so he need someone to take care of him. He tried many human beings as servants or take care or nurses to take care of him, but he could not adjust. Then his son has bought a robot as a replacement of nurse. But that replacement of nurse, the person fall in love with that robot, and the robot was also taking care of him a lot. But at the end, the robot has attacked on him, and then he had to take it away from him. So the robot should not attack anyone, even if you are replacing a human being with the robot. But your robot should be programmed in such a way that it should not injure a human being. No one should be allowed to program a robot like this. Okay, this robot is going to kill that human being. That cannot be done. The second law is that it should always follow the orders. Even though it should follow the order, but it should not conflict with the first law. First law should always be maintained. It should not hurt the human being. The third law is that robot must protect its existence. Even if you are attacking a robot has a right to protect itself, but protection be to the extent that it should not conflict with law number 1. So in any case, the robot should not harm or kill any human being. So majorly there are 3 type of robots. The first type of robot is related to mechanical design. In the mechanical design, they have certain kind of motors to move the robot. You have certain torque considerations. They have certain weight consideration. They have the design, mechanical design of the robot, and they should have a mechanism for driving, gripping, clamping, climbing, lifting or so. So automatic car is a mechanical design that can be a task of mechanical engineer. And what is the role of electronics engineer? The electronics is related to, because you have microcontrollers. Microcontroller is heart of the robot. It is going to control your robot. So it can be the design of microcontroller will be done by electronics people. The driving various kinds of motor is again a task of electronics. The different sensors, taking reading from the sensors, different actuators, they are again a task of electronics engineer. And then various kind of components or other type of components is the task of electronics engineer. Now, what is the role of computer science engineer? The computer science engineer will be doing the programming, microcontroller programming. It will be handling the networking, communicating with the computer, and communication between the various multiple robots, and they are responsible to generate the intelligent algorithms. So all programming will be handled by computer people. The different type of robot that we are going to discuss today is industrial robot. The industrial robot says that the robotics robot will be used in the operation of industries. Many industries are using the robot for lifting certain items, for moving the for doing the packaging, for automating the various things to be done in the industries. And a mobile robot says that you have a small device as a mobile which is moving. You can consider it as a robot is moving in a water, robot is moving in a air, or to take certain radioactive material from one place to another place. They are the mobile robots, they are moving. The another type of robots are the educational robot, which is to replace a teacher. You can have certain modules which can replace a teacher. They can offer you the instruction material, the videos. They can offer you the questions as per your level of understanding. They can grade you, they can evaluate you, they can again give you the instructions to cover up any concepts. So like this, the educational robots also exist. The next type of robots are domestic robots. So this is an industrial robot. The industrial robot is used to perform the welding, some material handling, improving the productivity, inspections. So they are the task of industrial robots. Now, mobile robots are the robots are moving from one place to another place without interference of human beings. It is to move in the it is to move in the air. It is to move in the water to take certain readings, or it can be moved in the land. On the land itself to take the radioactive material. It is only to the definition of this is that move around the legs, tracks, or wheels. The educational robots are to bring the or to replace the teacher, or you can say to aid the teacher or the students. and it is to bring the schools to the students. They have no you can say mechanical part. They are only software part. The another type of robots you must have seen is the chatbot. The chatbot is again a software only, though there is no mechanical part. Many softwares are using the chatbot. What is the role of a chatbot? The chatbot says that you do not need to hire a person to answer the queries of all the customers. The software will listen to the questions and answer the queries, and you can see that to the level of 70 to 80% they can answer well. Sometimes they are answering better than the human beings. Only few of the queries cannot be answered by them, but they have replaced many human beings as a customer care to answer the questions of day-to-day answers of any maybe to any agency. The domestic robots nowadays have become very popular. You could see in the movies where they have replaced a nurse, they have replaced even wives. I have seen one movie where the one person decided to not to marry, and he had married with a robot. So though I don't know what the time will come and robots are going to replace to what extent to human beings. So you see to the latest movies where you can see how they are replacing the human beings. They are the current uses of robots. The robots are mainly used in Asian countries and European countries a lot. Many many industries are running only with the 20% of required staff. 80% of work has been replaced by the robots. And the robots are majorly used in the mechanical industries for welding, for painting. You could see the construction of metros in the Nagpur or in the India, where you could see very less manpower. All the things are done by the machines and the robots. So we are looking at many examples in day-to-day life where where the recruitment of human beings are getting replaced day by day. Even the software engineers are also replaced. The robots are used in the programming itself. So you can use the robots in the packaging, in the electronics, in the automated guided vehicles, automatic cars. Even they are not allowed in the India, but the automated cars have replaced the drivers, and they have given the aids to the customers where you only need to set the path, and you can take your car from one place to another place without hiring any driver. The other uses are bomb disabling. It can be used for exploration, for cleaning, for fruit harvesting. So they are some of the pictures of the robots. Where the robots are present on the Mars, on the planets. You can say the satellite is also a robot. The robots can replace the cars and the human beings. The lifting of any material from one place to another place. They are all the example of robots. Now we will see how the robots, every robot has a programming, every robot has a processor. What can be the different ways of putting the programming unit into the robot? The first way was to have the centralized processing unit and the centralized reasoning system. The reasoning system is to inculcate the intelligence into the robot is a reasoning system. Traditionally, only one processor was there, only one control unit was there, and that was programs. It was controlling all the organs of the robots, it was a central reasoning system. जैसे अपना one mind is giving instruction to all parts of our body, that is a central processing unit. So brain is our central processing unit. It has central processing unit has a control, has a reasoning. But in case of robot, it was a traditional days. Now they are not central processing unit. They have multiple processors and multiple reasoning systems. So according to the software architectures, the robots can be categorized as human controlled, synchronous, asynchronous, insect based, and the reactive robots. So we will first see the human controlled, where human controlled robot is that there is no use of AI. The humans are controlling that robot. So it is a human controlled robot. Say for example, you are pressing a button and your robot is moving. That is a human. जैसे जो toy cars, you are pressing the left, right, and ये. It is a human controlled. It is no use of AI. That is a human controlled robot. The second type of robot is a synchronous robot. The synchronous robot says that you have a single processing unit and single reasoning system, which is your brain is running your all organs, is a synchronous robot. The second type of robot is asynchronous robot. The asynchronous robot says that you have a central control unit, but for sensing and moving parts, you have the distributed controls. तो फर्स्ट वाले में क्या हो रहा है, सेंसिंग एंड मूविंग पार्ट भी सेंट्रली है, बट इन केस ऑफ एसिंक्रोनस the sensing and movement part is asynchronous. They have distributed control. The fourth type of robot is insect based robot. Insect based robot means जैसे every ant they form some colonies and every colony has some control units. Say for example, you can say the one group of birds are moving by having some one leader bird. Then the second group has the second leader, third has a third leader. So every group has a certain level of intelligence and they can reach to the goal. It is a kind of insect based robot where they have the colonies, and every colony has a different level of intelligence and different processing, different reasoning. So this is an insect type of robot. You have a multiple processors. The last type of robots which are very popular nowadays is the reactive robot. In the case of reactive robot, it has no past experience, it has no memory, it only work, it only predict. That is a reactive robot. They have no pre-planning, they have no memories, no experience, no past. So I stop here and ask for the questions from the participants till point.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes, sir.
Is there any regulatory body to make these laws, madam?
Yes.
Who is the regulatory body, madam?
Who is that regulatory body? I need to check because the drones are still not allowed to take your orders on the Domino's or in other cities. So every robot which is in the environment, they need to have licenses, they need to be regulated to check certain kind of things. But I need to check who are the regulatory bodies.
Okay, madam.
So let me continue. The new type of robot is a reactive robot. A reactive robot is that it is controlled by the simple processes. It says simple processes means जैसे the way we program in the form of modules, and different modules can be given to different processors. So in the same way, you can go for the programming of the robot itself. You have divided your task into the multiple tasks, multiple modules, and you have given the development of that module to or execution of that module to multiple processors. So it is the new type of robots where you have multiple processes, and divided your task into the simpler subtask and given that task to the multiple processors. And the second is it has the reactive based architecture. Reactive based architecture ka meaning they have no memories. Because you have no past, no memories, your life is going to be simple. You need not to handle the past exhaustive system to take the decisions. So they are simpler one. That's why it is. So we call this robots as a behavioral based architecture. Now we will learn few of the basic terminology of the robotics. The first terminology of robotics is mission planning. Because every robot has been given up a mission, every robot has been given a goal. So how it will going to do that goal? The goal is to, you can say okay, you have to perform that goal B. So you have to move from goal A to goal B. From the goal A to goal B, you have to move from the different stages. Task 1, task 2, task 3. So to move from the different stages, you can have a multiple ways of doing it. So how will you if you have a multiple ways of doing it, then how will you be selecting a most efficient way of doing? How will you select a most efficient path to move from goal A to goal B? So you have to monitor your internal states. You have to, whenever you are moving from one state to another state, you have to check whether I am on the right path or not. So it is to move. You can take, in the mission planning, one popular term which is used is a heuristic. A heuristic says, okay, if you are going for a tour to some place, so if you have to visit a place, you prefer to hire a tour guide. Why do you prefer to hire a tour guide? Because the tour guide knows which are the prominent places which can be covered in a minimum amount of time. So this hiring a tour guide is, you have to use the heuristic. A heuristic will take you, or you can say the heuristic will take you from goal A to goal B by following the efficient or a optimum path. Now the robot has to do the path planning. The path planning is that robot has to move from point A to point B. Point A to point B doesn't say that robot always has to move. Movement doesn't say it is always a mechanical device. A movement can be in terms of a teacher robot also. Teacher robot means educational robot also. Okay, every student has reached to this level. Now it has to reach to level 2, level 3, level 4. So it is a goal state 1, goal state 2, goal state 3. So we are moving for the goal state. You have to move from goal state A to goal state B. But this slide is talking about the movement, mechanical movement. In the mechanical movement, the robot should know how much power cover now. The road only see the entire path ahead, but sometimes the entire path is not visible at a particular point. So robot can see only the best point at this point and it can take a move. It all depends on the strategies strategies are the part of artificial intelligence course. And the robot, if the robot get stuck, then it can backtrack. Backtrack means there is no other path. I can go move back to my back step, and then I can select the another path. That is a backtrack. Now, what are the different ways to follow the path? The different ways to follow the path is, one is the robot may have to follow the floor. The floor, how the robot can follow the floor, you can create some lines and we can use the line follower robots. They can identify the line and they can follow the floor. The another way of following the path is you can use the cameras. if you have a robot for driving a car, you need to have the picture of a robot. You need to have a picture of your foreground, background, or which are the other vehicles. So you need the help of camera, and the camera is giving you the guidance. You can follow the road. The second way of following the path is the use of GPS system. All of you are aware of the GPS system, so it is a way of finding a path. So now we will come to the sensors. How a robot can sense the environment? The robot can sense the environment. The first way of sensing the environment is that robot can have a radar. Radar is radar can give it some readings. It can give it some directions. So sonar or radar was used by the robots in a traditional days. Nowadays also it is used, but only to the specific applications. They have the specific way of doing. Earlier every robot was using that radar because the cameras were expensive. The processing the videos and the pictures was also expensive because of the CPU and hard disk limitations. But nowadays cameras, video processing have become very popular. So many radars have been replaced by the cameras and lasers. And the another way of taking the readings is through the GPS system. So what can you do if your robot has found certain obstacles? You could have seen the many toy cars. If they found certain obstacle, they turn their directions. So the same is applicable to the robots. If they find certain obstacles, they have to stop and they have to replan their next direction of movement. In case of mobile robot, they can stop, they can replan, they can resume. In case of autonomous ground vehicles, they can slow down, they can change their directions. And in case of underwater vehicles, they can change their depth or altitude. So I again stop here. If you have any questions till point, I am open for the questions.
Ma'am, what are the different locomotions that the robot can perform, ma'am?
Locomotions means?
Like walking, running.
Yes. Robots, I think the robots can perform all the motions that human can do. In addition to the humans, in addition to the operations by the humans, the robot can also fly, like drones. Robots can take any type of movement, sliding movements. They can have slide up, slide down, all the rotations. I think all the movements can be done by them.
Can
It all
they
depends.
swim, ma'am?
Huh?
Can they swim?
Can
they swim?
Yes, I think they can swim. They can swim. Yes, they can.
Ma'am, how can
Okay.
we set that locomotive positions?
They can be set by
What type of parameters we have to choose for that? Just explain that in detail, ma'am.
okay. I think this latitude and the parameters that are related to depth, latitude and longitude, they are some parameters which are defined for GPS. They can be used by robot itself.
No, ma'am. Yes, I am agree with you. But suppose we have to design any such kind of robots. So in that, how we have to choose that movement and all locations, locomotive movements of that particular robot? What type of steps we have to take for that? Just explain or elaborate that in detail.
Okay. Because such type of questions can be answered by the person who are in the design process of such type of robots. The robot has a multiple branches. So I think I am not in position to answer this question at this stage, because I am a computer science faculty, and I can answer you all the questions related to artificial intelligence and programming.
I think
Ma'am,
mechanical engineer
suppose-
take care of this, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Suppose any object will get identified in front of a robot, so then how it will get identified, how it will get overcome? What type of
Ah.
instructions we have to
Yes,
given
yes.
to the robot at that instant?
It is if you have certain obstacle, then sensor is going to identify, because you are using some IR based sensors. The IR based sensors are finding out the distance from the obstacle. So you can check in the software that you are very near to the obstacle. Now the software will change the direction. Software will instruct the robot to go for the change. So you can say, with help of the sensors reading before the obstacle, before the, you can say, the hit of a robot, your software program will resume or will go for the redirection.
Madam,
Yes, sir.
is any specialized processor used for robotics, or else can we use same computer processor like i3, i5
Nice, sir.
for robots?
They are different. They are very different. In the eYantra, we have 8250 processors. Some of them are using Arduino kit or a processors. So it all depends on the applications. They are very basic. They cannot perform very. They cannot perform. You can say their processing speed is less. They have less memory on chip. They cannot allow the multiple processing. They have very you can say response time is very slow. So they cannot do any task. They are only for the demonstration of the student projects. So it all depends very high. Every application has a different type of processor requirements. One processor
Okay.
cannot do all the tasks in all type of robots.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Yes. Different microcontroller, it is a subject of a different microcontrollers and their processing and other parameters.
Madam, excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, a robot which contains a single CPU or it has many CPUs?
Traditionally, it was a single CPU. Nowadays, the robots are with multiple CPU.
Okay. I think it can perform
Yes, yes. Multiple tasks, multiple CPU will give you more efficiency or more power to the robot.
multitasking. Am I right?
Yes, yes, multitasking. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Which one countries play significant role for the development of the robotic technology? Like India is plays significant role or not?
Which country?
Yeah, India is a develop
I need-
robotic technology or not?
I need to check. I think America can be the leader. US.
China and
China.
US. China and US is the
India,
most.
madam.
Yes, yes. China and US can be the leader. Yes.
Yes, madam.
In India,
India, very few. India, very few.
Very
Very few. Even drones have not come to us, and you can see very in Nagpur also we have one restaurant where the waiters are replaced by the robots. Robot is a
Okay.
costly issue. No one, everyone cannot afford the robot. Their maintenance, their purchase, they are very costly.
okay.
Mm.
Thank you, madam.
Okay. So let me come to the section of robotic programming. In the robotic programming, I have taken few small programs because I am CS, so I cannot be without programming. I am going to cover small programs on robots. So robotic programming is to give the instructions to the robots. The giving the instruction to the robot is same as writing a program for doing certain tasks. But the difference is that a robotic programming require you to understand the you can say the chip diagram or a pin diagram of a microcontroller. So whatever microcontroller you are using, 8250, whatever you are using, that microcontroller के pin diagram में which pins are the input pins, which pins are the output pins, you have to see this, then only you can program your robot program. You can do your robot programming. The rest of the programming instructions are same, input, output, processing, all the things are same. The basic part is what is the difference? How will you be taking the input? How will you be giving the output? So to give the input and output, you need to understand the pin diagram of microcontroller. You need to understand how will you be connecting your robot with the serial port, or which are the port number on which you are connecting your robot, and you have to execute it. The programming languages which are used for the robot is a Python, Java, C#, MATLAB, and in eYantra we were using the C programming. To do that C programming, we were suggested to use a programming environment. You cannot do the programming in Turbo C or any C compiler, that they will not support you. You need certain IDE to program the robot. So IDE which was suggested by them was Atmel Studio or Keil, Keil. You can use that software to do the C programming of a robot. So this was our robot that they have given to us. They were 6 to 7 robots they have given to us, and they have taught us how to program these robots. In this they have called it as a eYantra. On this robot there was a processor, there were sensors, there were output device of LCD and buzzer. We will be discussing it. They have named this robot as a Firebird 5 robot. So what were the components of Firebird 5 robot? The first components were sensors. Sensor was to take to sense the environment. The sensor was they have taken up the IR range sensors. The IR range sensor is infrared rays. Infrared rays we are using in the case of TV robot and other things. So they are infrared range sensors, and they are on the boundary so that they can sense the environment. So they are marked like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are IR sensors. The second type of sensors were IR proximity range sensors. They are also on the boundaries. They are to identify the obstacle in front of them. They are very cheap sensors, and such type of sensors were installed in the toys also, toy car and toy robot. They are only to sense the obstacles near to them. Only to the proximity. They are applicable only to certain range. The another type of sensors which are present in that Firebird 5 was a white line sensors. White line sensors means they have given us you can say ऐसा क्या दिया था उन्होंने, जैसा एक चटाई क्या बोलते हैं उसको, एक like a sheet. In that sheet they have printed a white line. The white line were meant to identify the robot that I have to move only on the white line. So that was white line sensors. So this was a white line sensors. जो white line sensors were installed at this place near to the wheels, and whenever you are giving the instruction, they will be moving only on the white lines. That was
Shall
a
we
white
call
line
this as a
sensor.
pathfinder?
Pathfinder, yes. Yes.
Okay, madam.
The another type of sensors was infrared infrared sensors. They again sense the infrared rays. Now we come to the output units. The output units was the sensors were the input units, and the output units was to display your actions. The output units which were installed in that device was a LCD and the buzzer. Now for the robot has to communicate, because how the robot is going to communicate? The robot will communicate. Many robots are communicating with the internet itself. So to communicate they can communicate with the other devices as well. So what can be the communication ways? The one is you can use the COM port on your PC. That is a COM port, or you can connect it with the serial port. So this port is available on the this serial port, the COM port which are available on the robot has been shown here. This is a COM port, and it is a network का जो RS-232 cable जो which we connect on the computer, such type of port is also given on it. The industries generally use the ZigBee wireless communication. The ZigBee wireless communication is also present on this Firebird 5 robot. This ZigBee is like a Bluetooth, or its range is more than Bluetooth. So it allow you to communicate with your machines in your industries without use of internet. So it is free of cost. You can use this network, and it is a very, very efficient network. Without any congestion, you can allow your devices to communicate by using the ZigBee. So microcontroller which was there on the Firebird 5 robot was, what are its features? It has a central processing unit, that is CPU, and the CPU has this operating voltage, flash memory, it has the counters, it has the interrupt services, it has a watchdog timer, it has the IO ports. The point which is to be noticed that you are not using the computer, so you cannot expect that this processor is as powerful as your computers. This processor was very, very slow. Its memory was very less, and because you are using, because why the memory was less? Because it is a very cheap, and second, it was a very small. It is not like a full computer or CPU unit that you had in the laptop or other desktop PCs. Because you have the size and the weight restrictions as well. So it has a very limited processing unit. It is only to have the sense of like a computer that you do. Without computer also you can incorporate the intelligence. So this is a basic diagram of that Firebird 5 robot. It is this diagram has to be taken carefully, that give you the full picture of the robotics. You can see that it is the heart of a robot is a microcontroller. The microcontroller, you need certain input devices or a sensor devices. So sensors can be the white line sensor. You can have IR proximity sensor, sharp IR sensor, or you can have different type of sensors. These sensors are the analog devices. Analog devices means they are the mechanical devices. The computer cannot give you the mechanical signal. So you need A to D converter. They will convert your analog signal into the digital signal. Computer is always giving you the digital data. So this digital data has to be converted into the analog data. then only it can give the instruction to the analog devices. And other than the sensors, you can have the output devices. The output devices are LCD and buzzer. LCD can have the direct digital output, buzzer can have the direct digital output. But in case of motors, the motors cannot have the digital output. You need certain converting unit. So converting unit is a driver which will convert your digital signal into the mechanical signal. It is a left motor, right motor. So you need certain units to convert the digital signal into the mechanical signal. Other than this, you need the communication mechanism. The communication mechanism can be RS-232 or it can be a ZigBee or other type of wireless modules. So I again stop here and open for the questions.
This can be an embedded system.
Excuse me, ma'am. You have
Yes,
talked
sir.
about e-yantra.
Yes.
Okay. If I'm interested, if our college is interested, how can I avail all those e-yantra, or how can I be part of those e-yantra?
Yes, sir. e-yantra, you can go to the site of e-yantra. They generally arrange certain workshops on some durations. They invite the colleges. They give you the free of cost training faculties. And if you do successfully a free of cost training, they can give you a robot also as a free of cost. But the condition is that you should set up a lab. The cost of that lab was approximately 2 lakh rupees at that time. And they have given us 8 to 10 such type of robots and additional accessories to program that robots and to execute that robots. It is run by IIT Mumbai. You can go to their site. If you are connected with e-yantra, they can connect you with e-farming and the other competitions as well. इसका जो सबसे one more additional advantage of this e-yantra is that they allow the faculties to participate in the development of the teaching material as well, and they give you the honorarium as well. But their teaching material should be of very good quality, otherwise they reject. But they give you the honorarium to the limit of 7,000 for one tutorial. So
No
if
voice,
you have
madam.
huh? Yes.
Yes, I can hear it, ma'am.
Yes. And
तो
they
मैं
they
तो उसके लिए
also they
मतलब
also they also publish your name on that material.
ओके मैम, इसके लिए अभी जो आपने शेयर किया है उससे मैं मतलब मेरा इंटरेस्ट भी बहुत वो हो गया कि वहाँ हमारा जो कॉलेज है, आई एम स्पीकिंग फ्रॉम मणिपुर, तो अगर वो उससे जुड़ जाए तो मतलब लॉट ऑफ स्कोप्स और स्पेकुलेशन जो है स्टूडेंट्स के अमंग स्टूडेंट्स
यस
वो
यस
ज्यादा हो जाएगा।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, और बिल्कुल 2 लाख रुपए में बहुत मतलब it is worth to invest 2 lakh rupees with them.
ओके सर, ओके मैम, ओके मैम।
Ma'am, any conditions are there for?
Yes.
Any conditions are there?
There are no conditions. You should only have an interest. There is no condition. You go to the site and ask to them. You can write to mail to them. They are waiting for the participants like you. Yes.
Ma'am, what type of programming languages do we use, ma'am?
They are using this C language, C. But देखो robot में इसमें robot का we will understand this robot. It can be any language. कोई भी प्लेटफॉर्म चाहे पाइथन हो या फिर मैटलैब हो, रोबोट के जो प्लेटफॉर्म होते हैं फाइनली वो क्या करते हैं, दे क्रिएट अ हेक्स फाइल फॉर यू एंड यू हैव टू बर्न दैट हेक्स फाइल इनटू योर रोबोट. तो ऐसा नहीं होता कि कोई भी रोबोट जो रहेगा वो सी लैंग्वेज के लिए बना है या पाइथन के लिए बना है. इट इज नॉट. एवरी पाइथन का भी कोई आईडी होगा तो आपको हेक्स फाइल बना के देगा. सी का आईडी इट कैन आल्सो क्रिएट अ हेक्स फाइल फॉर यू. सो रोबोट इज नॉट स्पेसिफिक टू एनी प्रोग्रामिंग. The environment is present for any language. They will convert your program into hex file and you have to burn that hex file into your robot.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So let me move on. In this, I have, yes.
Can we write?
Yes, any question?
Only C language is sufficient? Or
C is sufficient. Yes, yes, C is sufficient. C is sufficient. So today I'm going to discuss only C language because C is more into hardware programming. So we find it very easy to understand. So in the today's talk, I have only covered the input-output interfacing. Input-output interfacing means how to take the data from the input devices and how to display the data to the output devices. So input devices that we are taking, it can be a keyboard or a switch or a sensor. The output device can be LCD or LED or a motor or a buzzer. So every microcontroller has the input-output pins. You have to understand the architecture of the microcontroller. Whenever you have a microcontroller, they give you certain pin diagrams. So they also give specific which are the input pins, which are the output pins. So this 8051 is a 40 pin microcontroller and 22 pins are the input output pins. So out of these 32 pins, they are divided into 4 groups of 8 pins. And these groups of pins are so these groups of pins are named as port. Port का क्या meaning है? If you are grouping the pins, then they are port. They are port 0, port 1, port 2, and port 3. So the eight pins in one port has been given as a port number. And you can see these are the 8 ports, P0, P1, P2, P3, and P4. They are the port numbers. And in the port numbers, you have to give the signal. Say, for example, I went to give one signal to port 1, one signal to port 2. How will you give that signal? To give that signal, to set that port, how can you do it? So you have to set the port number 7. Sorry, the 7th pin of port 0. 7th pin of port 0. How can you do it? P0, this mark 7 is equal to 1. It will set the 7th pin of port 0. If you cannot do this, the next way of doing is that P0 is equal to P0 OR. This is a OR sign. This is a OR sign. P0 OR hexadecimal 80. Hexadecimal 80 means it is going to set the pin number 7. So the meaning to say is that you can directly go to a particular pin by using this command, or you can go by accessing only the port number and do it or with some number, with some hexadecimal number. So OX is representing the hexadecimal number. So to set a pin, you can either use this command or you can use this command. Now to set the port number 0, to set the port number 0 means you have to set all the 8 pins in the port number 0 with 1. So you can set it as P0 is equal to hexadecimal. OX is representing hexadecimal. FF means all ones. So you are setting all the pins with 1 of port number 0. Now the next example is configure the port number 0 as an input port. Take the data from port number 0 and send it to port number 1. So now we are using the input as well as output. Input कहाँ से ले रहे हैं? We are taking the input from P0 and sending that input to the port number which is output port to port number 1. How can you do it? You have to take a variable A, set the port number P0 with FF means all pins with 1. Now send that P0 to variable A and assign that A to P1. You now P1 port has taken up the values of port number 0. P0 पे whatever input was there in the P0, now it has been copied to port number 1. You can see that the instructions are same as the C language, but only you need to understand the pin diagram और spin diagram में 1 और 0 कैसा set करना है, that you need to understand. The next example that I have taken is a buzzer program. What is this buzzer program? Buzzer program is this program that I have taken is okay, my robot is in continuous loop and I have to turn on the buzzer for 500 millisecond and turn it off for 500 millisecond. So how can you do? You have to start your program. Now you have to assign the port value to the buzzer so that you can send your port value to the buzzer. Now you have to make your buzzer on for 500 millisecond, stop the buzzer for 500 millisecond and then you have to end. कि आपको बजर को पहले 500 मिलीसेकंड तक ऑन करना है और 500 मिलीसेकंड ऑफ, फिर ऑन फिर ऑन फिर ऑफ फिर ऑफ, जैसा यू हैव टू डू इट इन द लूप, ऑन ऑफ फॉर 500 मिलीसेकंड. दैट आई नीड टू राइट अ प्रोग्राम. You can see that. Yes.
Ma'am, assign the port value to buzzer. It means that value is definitely 01.
No. It means that you have to connect. It says that we have connected this buzzer to the port number 2, pin number 7. कि आपका जो buzzer है वो कौन से port पर connected है. That we need to check. That is to assign the port value to the buzzer. On which pin it has been connected.
Okay.
So from that pin we will get the input, ma'am, then?
Actually this buzzer is already connected on the chip. What we have to do कि आपका whatever input you have to give to that port. तो आप जो भी इसमें input देंगे buzzer पे चला जाएगा. So you need to understand where your buzzer is connected.
Okay.
So program that I will be explaining you to the easiest way. We are leaving these header files because these header files are fixed. If you are using the atmel, then header file will be different. If you are using the keel, then header file will be different. These header files are automatically included if you are creating a new project. तो उनके जो related header files हैं, they are going to be automatically included in your program. Related header files. That is not our job. We will leave it. Now we are coming to कि हमारा जो buzzer है वो buzzer आपको you need to understand your pin diagram. या फिर आपको if you have a option कि आपका buzzer आपको कहाँ connect करना है तो you can connect your buzzer to a particular port and particular pin. So say for example in this the buzzer has been connected to port number 2, pin number 7. So you have to tell the software where is your buzzer. So by assigning that port number to the buzzer, you told the software that my buzzer is at pin number 2 and port number 2 and pin number 7. Now we will come to the main. इस main में हमको क्या करना है, हमको ये buzz को infinite, we have to put it into the infinite loop. क्योंकि हमको continuously उसको एक बार on, one time on, one time off. You have to do it again and again. So it is in while loop. In the while loop, we are calling that if it is 0 then buzzer is on, if it is 1 then buzzer is off. So initially buzzer जब 0 है इसका मतलब it is on, and then you have to delay for 500 millisecond, then buzzer is on, then delay for 500 millisecond. So it will go in the loop again and again. It will make on and off buzzer 0 and buzzer 1. Now what is delay? You have to write the delay function here like this. How to write the delay function? It is the commonly used delay function in the robot where you have to give the parameter as a millisecond. In the millisecond, you have to run the for loop for millisecond. 1 millisecond में जितने भी आप second ले रहे हो 0 to 60 seconds, और 0 to 53 you have to do nothing. Means वो loop में जाएगा उसमें और बार बार उसमें जाके it will create a wait period for you. इसमें semicolon लगाने का sense है there are no instructions, so it will create a delay for you. So this is a program to make on and off of buzzer. So I again stop here and open for the questions.
Madam, excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, may I know the speed of this microcontroller?
Yes, you
I
can
think-
find out. It is in the instruction manual or microcontroller manual.
Oh, I think what is the speed in the gigahertz
Yes,
range
yes.
or
Yes,
megahertz
yes.
range?
They are very hardware specific parameter. You need to understand their hardware.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
So let me move on. You have created a .c file. So if you are using any software, you need to understand how to run the program. And if you run the program, it will create a hex file on a particular location. So you need to find your hex file by going to that particular location, and you need to track that hex file. Now, what are the steps to burn the hex file into your this robot or into your this e-yantra? So first is that you have to compile your code and generate a hex file. And now you have to go to that particular location और उस hex file को हमको you have to find out in your PC. Now you have to open another software of a FlashMagic. This FlashMagic software will allow you to burn your hex file into your you can say the hex file into your e-yantra. These hex file can be written in this device multiple times.
Excuse me,
So
ma'am.
you-
Excuse me. Sorry for.
Yes, sir.
Excuse
Yes,
me.
sir.
Sorry for interruption. मुझे एक और चीज है. ये जो एटमेल और केल जो एटमेल जो है वो शायद डॉस बॉक्स के मतलब are they similar to DOS box?
Yes, yes,
Which
yes, they are
going to
similar.
convert.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
If they directly allow you to burn the code, you can directly follow them.
Okay.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
it is
That's
same.
perfect.
For electronics people, it is not a new thing. It is same as you do in any hardware programming. It is same.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. So you have to open a FlashMagic to burn the code. Now you have to connect one DB9 cable, which is given along with this this e-yantra to the Firebird 5 robot. और उस D9 केबल जो है इसका D9 केबल on one part COM port में Firebird 9 में it is attached, and you have to attach it into your PC also on the COM port. और आपने किस पोर्ट पे किया है, you need to check if it is COM4, COM3 or COM2. So you have to go to the devices and find out your port number where you have attached, because that port number will be required in the FlashMagic software. Now you have to select the hex file. The FlashMagic software में हमको क्या क्या देना है? You have to select the hash file. Hash file का you have to select the path, और फिर you have to select the COM port, COM3, COM4 जहाँ पे भी आपका कनेक्टेड है उस COM फाइल से आपका you have to select it. और फिर हमको क्या करना है? Before start the burning, you have to initiate the boot sequence. Boot sequence कैसे initiate होता है? The boot sequence can be initiated by pressing this इस part के upper part में और this where if you this instruction will be given to you. If you press simultaneously here and here, then the boot sequence will be initiated. After initiating the boot sequence, you can now burn your code, and once it has burned, it will tell you that you have successfully burned the code, and now your code has been transferred to the hardware. और अब आपका रोबोट जो है आपके सॉफ्टवेयर के हिसाब से बजर ऑन ऑफ या जो भी डिस्प्ले करना है, it will be behaving like whatever you have written in the program. So you can do this code burning multiple times, and you can test your multiple ways of doing the programming of a robot. Now we are towards the end of our presentation, where we have the future, what can be the future aspects of the robot. The many of the industries have already started using the robot technology in the defense, in the automotive, in the air force, pharmaceutical, textile, atomic energy, and many of them are already in the field, and they are smarter than the human being. The robot can do the work which human being cannot do. But the aspect which has been left is that it has no feelings. It cannot feel like a human being, and it is not naturally behaving with the environment. Like they do not have skin, they do not have hairs. So that way also, realistic looking is again a future aspect of the robotics. So that is it from my side. If you have any questions, I am open.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
This is Rupali Kade.
Yes.
Ma'am, I want to ask which language is mostly used in robotics? In this C Yantra, C language is used, but which language is mostly used?
देखो इसमें the C language cannot do the artificial intelligence. It has limitations. But if you do the program in Python, you can behave it as like you can use the deep learning or other modules which are built into the Python, and it is easy to program. So if your C program cannot make a robot, it is only for preliminary things, only to teach the students. But the language which I will say कि Python is more useful to make the robot. क्योंकि intelligence is the important aspect of robotics. Today we have discussed it was not intelligent, it is only to learn the robotics. But it gives you the understanding of robot के आपको पिन डायग्राम भी देखना पड़ता है, और ये छोटी छोटी इंस्ट्रक्शन में भी आपको कमांड देने पड़ते हैं. रोबोट कैन नॉट थिंक.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, ma'am.
हेलो मैम.
मैडम,
मैम क्या साइंस कॉलेज में ई यंत्र लैब एस्टेब्लिश हो सकती है, या ये सिर्फ इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस के लिए है?
साइंस का आई नीड टू चेक, बिकॉज मेरे साथ शायद इंजीनियरिंग के ही थे सारे.
ओके ओके ओके.
आई नीड टू चेक.
ओके, ठीक है मैम.
One more question.
Yes.
Ma'am, as robots are becoming very expert and having intelligence, can this be a challenge to extinction of human skills and
Yes,
human
yes.
existence?
Yes.
They're like using nuclear bombs. There are certain rules and regulations to up to what extent they can be used as far as global scenario is concerned. So are there such rules respect to robotics? Because when we are promoting robotics, so there is a challenge for them, for we as a human being.
Yes. देखो इसमें only the laws that we have discussed in the slide is only defined thing. Otherwise, if you see to the US countries, many human beings are replaced. For every day, we can listen that the requirement of manpower is going to be reduced. The jobs are going to be reduced because robots have come. But to till extent that it can replace, there are no guidelines. Slowly, they have replaced us. But or they have replaced us, and they are going to replace us. There is no boundary. It all depends on the human being. हम कितना रोबोट बनाते जाएंगे, उतना हम अपने आप को रिप्लेस करते जाएंगे ऐसा.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Ma'am?
Madam,
Yes.
we are from Arts and Science College, madam. Is
Okay.
it possible to collaborate with your college and take this e-Yantra program?
That can be done. That can be done because we have many students. Many students who because we along with the many students we are into the trainings, and we are into the different type of programs also. We conduct the free of cost workshops also on the e-farming and e-yantra as well. Our students are also trained. How we are running this model, because we have very less faculties into the CS department. So what we do, I have handed over this lab to the students, and keys are also given to them. They can sit on their own 24 hours. They can use their lab, and other students are coordinating with them. I do not look at them. And whenever they leave the campus, whenever they are passed out, they hand over this lab to the next batch of students, and then we are running like this. But giving the keys to the students has created an interest to them, and they automatically do all the things. They are participating into the competitions, and अभी तो हमारा लॉकडाउन है, अदरवाइज हमने एक यहाँ पे फार्म भी सेट किया था, ई फार्म, जिसमें स्टूडेंट्स ने प्रोग्राम करके दे हैव installed the actuators and water controllers and the motors and the other things. We cannot MOU, we cannot do the MOU, but we can help you out. If you can go to the e-yantra site and you can ask the queries to them. They will definitely entertain the science and arts college, because अभी कोई भी आर्ट साइंस कॉलेज ऐसा कुछ भी रह नहीं गया है. The everything can be done by everyone interested ones. So you can be the part of e-yantra. I think they have not restricted the engineers. You can write to them.
Okay, madam. Thank you, madam.
मैम, आपके यहाँ जो वर्कशॉप होते हैं उनके बारे में, अपकमिंग इवेंट्स के बारे में हमें कैसे जानकारी मिल सकती है, ताकि हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को आपके यहाँ हम लेके आए या फिर ऑनलाइन करवाएं?
ऑनलाइन कर सकते हैं हम लोग, हम स्टूडेंट्स की भी कर सकते हैं.
यस मैम, इंफॉर्मेशन कैसे मिलेगी? आपसे ही कांटेक्ट करना पड़ेगा या फिर किसी और से कांटेक्ट करना पड़ेगा उसके लिए?
धार्मिक मैडम, कैन यू हेल्प अस कनेक्टिंग? धार्मिक मैडम?
यस मैम, श्योर.
इनका कोई व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप होगा तो मुझे कनेक्ट कर देना.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I'll send you a number in our WhatsApp group. If anybody is interested, they can contact you.
हाँ, तो मैं स्टूडेंट्स वर्कशॉप एक रखती हूँ, और इनको जो भी इंटरेस्टेड है, they can participate.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
So nice of you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Any more question?
No, ma'am.
ओके, बीच बीच में आप लोगों ने सारे क्वेरीज सॉल्व कर लिए हैं. मैडम ने कहा आपका ये भी पेज भी अच्छा था मैडम, कि थोड़ी देर के बाद आप रुक के क्वेश्चन आंसर्स लेते थे. इट वाज अ नाइस सेशन. So on behalf of all the participants and from HRDC Nagpur, I extend my thanks to you, ma'am, for both the day's sessions. Yes, Saturday session on Android application development and today's on robotics. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, thank you all the participants.
Yes.
Dharmik madam.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you all of you.
Thank you all of you. Now I'm ending.
We will meet at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay? Am I audible?
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So 10 मिनट पहले ज्वाइन करिए, 1 बजे का सेशन रहेगा.